Welcome to the What the Nuck podcast, the podcast for Canucks fans. I'm your host, Ridey, alongside my good friend and co-host, Gunny.
Hello.
Hello. Well, Gunny, Canucks, I'm going to keep saying this until they're not there. Are first in the league. It may change today because the Rangers play, and I believe they play the Columbus Blue Jackets, so we will see how that goes.
They're also on a 10-game win streak, I'm pretty sure.
And they're on a 10-game heater, so there is that. But yeah, as it stands right now, the Canucks are 1 point ahead of them right now in the standings and 1 point ahead of the Bruins. But with the way this week started, the Vancouver Canucks faced their first adversity of the season, not losing just a 3-game losing streak, but a 4-game losing streak. Panic? Gumbeer, your thoughts. What do you think? Are you worried about this Canucks team going into the playoffs now, or what do you see?
I would just want to shout out Ian McIntyre. I think he said this perfectly. If anyone's ever watched No Country for Old Men,
Yeah.
it's just a point where they see like a crime scene, and he's like, the one sheriff's like, this is a big mess, and the other sheriff says, this is a big mess until the real mess gets here. It's bad, but it's not the worst thing. It's regular season. It's a 4-game losing streak. I think Vegas has had one, Colorado, Tampa. Every good team's had one. You're not going to go the whole season without having a little string of losses.
Yeah.
But how they ended this loss streak, which we'll get to, gives us confidence. But yeah, 4-game streak was tough. There was a lot of problems in it. I'll let you run down the scores in the game, and then we can get into what went wrong during that 4-game loss streak.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to say like that's actually a perfect quote because like during the 3-game losing streak, all Canucks fans seem pretty reasonable and logical with like, oh, every team goes through this, and then we hit the 4th against the Kraken, and people were freaking out talking about we shouldn't pay Pettersson 12 mil and like get rid of Roenick and all this stuff, and it was just insane. And like you said, all good teams go through losing streaks. This is Vancouver's first 4-game losing streak of the year. The 2011 team, they did it twice. Okay, so
You went back in the history books.
yeah. The sky is not falling, Canucks fans. Do not worry. I did just kind of want to run over this game quick, just because I missed a good chunk of it and I had to rewatch it when I got home. But I missed a game where there was 17 goals and 3 hat tricks.
Yeah.
What a whirlwind of a game. Yeah. Actually, first off, shout out to JT Miller this week. Like he had 5 goals on the week. Hat trick in the Minnesota game. Yeah, more importantly though, with the Minnesota game, because I saw a lot of people were like complaining about the officiating in this game. Do you think there was an officiating problem throughout this week for Vancouver, or do you think this game where they had 4 5-on-3s against them, the penalties were just penalties at the end of the day?
I think since the All-Star break, we're the most penalized team. That was at least true a week ago. I imagine after the Minnesota game, it's very true now. It's kind of like the Canucks, they go on a little losing streak. Sometimes the refs it's a few games they string together. Like they never officiate every game perfectly. But then when it's like 6, 7 games in a row where you're kind of just hitting those calls, and every single time those calls are going against you, it gets tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, officiating has been a problem. That Minnesota game was an absolute mess. And then it's amplified by the fact that when we do get a power play, it looks abysmal. So it's really, those two things have been absolutely tossing us these past 2 weeks, but what can you do?
Yes, currently the power play as it stands is a complete momentum killer for this team. Like you don't even want them to get the power play because they're just gonna, it's not gonna go well for them. There's more chances against us than for. But yeah, like the only like I saw so many Canucks fans complaining about the calls in this game, and like there was one for sure in the Lindholm roughing where he like just roughs up Eric's neck going to the bench, which happens all the time in the NHL. And it was such a soft call. I couldn't believe they called that. And then the other one, they miss an Ian Cole. It was like a accidental kind of on purpose knee on knee, it seemed like, where he got tripped. And then the only other one where I was like, wow, like this should have been blown down. Actually, there was 2. So the mad scramble in front of the Minnesota net, guaranteed someone covered the puck with their hand. I'm pretty sure you could see it on the TV. I want to say it was Middleton. But yeah, someone clearly covers the puck with their hand. And then the tying goal that Minnesota scores in the 3rd period, the Smith had the puck. And then they just kept going. And like that was such a long time without a whistle, and of course the puck's gonna get loose after people are jamming away at his pads for what seemed like a year.
Yeah, I don't know how that ref thought he still saw the puck. It was like a second and a half maybe that it was underneath his pad. Like I thought he was going down. Like just
Yeah,
watching it, I was just screaming at the TV, blow the damn whistle.
yeah.
But they did not.
Oh, I've seen so many quicker whistles in that too, and like, yeah, that was just mayhem. That game was just complete chaos in general. Like, man, if
It
you
was
hit the
fun.
over, you were having a good time.
You hit the over. Like, dude, I think it was the fourth fastest 5 goals scored on a team. Like, we got pumped. Like that was they scored at the end of the second, and then 5 minutes into the third, they're up like two already when they were down three to start.
Yeah,
Five quick ones. Like it was pretty nuts. Obviously on the 5-on-3s they kept scoring, and then even the boys were broken at that point.
yeah.
Thing was, I still believed
I did
that they
too.
could come
Yeah.
back
Well, it
watching
was
that game.
8-7
It
at one
was
point, right?
yeah, no, it was staying close when we scored the empty netter. Like when we had the empty net and we scored as well. Like I thought the Canucks can still do this, but it was a fun as hell game.
Yeah,
That one
100%.
out of the 4 game losing streak, I would just write off. We're not going to get 4 or 5-on-3s against us every time.
No,
So that
especially in
one
the
was kind of a
playoffs,
write
4 or
off.
5-on-3s, that will never happen, okay? If that ever happens, I'm eating my shorts.
There was one
Um,
where we kept on getting 5-on-3s. I remember Salo just kept blasting on them.
oh,
This is in
yeah, you're
2011.
the 2011 against the Sharks. That was,
Yeah,
that whole series people complained about because there were so many power plays, and our
we
power
weren't
play
losing to the Sharks that
was
year.
no, of course not, but that power play that Vancouver had with the Sedins, Kessler, and, like, Edler, Salo, all those guys, like, man, that thing was scoring every time. Um,
Completely off the rails conversation here.
yeah.
But how much we talk about the 2011 team finally, I feel like we're slightly healed, like, watching this team. Because before, I would never talk about it. I would
Yeah,
never bring it up,
yeah.
but there wasn't a reason. Like, obviously, now it's the comparisons, like, that's the best regular season team, and now we are becoming a
Yeah,
we might be the best regular season team going on, like, there's always the comparisons, but
yeah.
before, I remember never mentioning that ever. No one ever talked like, you'd made mention in passing, but man, it hurt. Now, still hurts, but
It yeah. It I think Canuck fans are healed to a certain extent. I'm not gonna lie, when you watch the Canucks play the Bruins and the Bruins have the lead and the Canucks have 0 goals, that just anxiety through the roof for me once again. But,
oh, yeah, okay,
yeah,
we'll get to that one.
we'll get to that, yeah. But no, yeah, I think you're right. I think it like, you can kinda look back just in, like, fond memory of just how dominant that team was, and yeah, there's a lot of comparisons because, yeah, this team's at the top of the league right now, and so was that Vancouver team in 2011. Um, I wanted to ask about the Avalanche game to you with, like, the effort that they had because Vancouver, again, they played really good 5-on-5. Miller, again, he pots another goal. By the way, the Canucks opened the scoring in all of these games but the Boston game, and this is during their 4-game losing streak, and they've usually been really good with the lead, like,
Yeah,
this year. So the fact that they've been, like, losing these games was a little concerning, I thought. Um, yeah, I don't know. You could just chalk up the Avalanche game to Georgiev absolutely robbing the Canucks. Like, Pedersen had a chance in tight. Hoglander didn't get all of it on net, and Georgiev robbed him. Like, that'll be save of the year candidate. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just overall, like, during this, like, losing streak, like, do you think Vancouver um, played like their best outside of the Kraken game? Like, do you think there's like no concerns at all going into like the rest of the season?
there's concerns, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's concerns that we can solve, and I don't think should be too much of a problem. We can probably get into the fact that we're gonna be adding pieces as well. It's gonna
Yeah.
be solidifying the lineup now. Yeah, do
Mhm.
we put the lotto line together when we do it? I'm pretty sure we did at some point, I assume, in this 4 games. They're probably tossing them on, especially 6-on-5. But solidifying our top 6,
Yeah.
important. Where does Lindholm play? Who's the top 6 forward that's going to join? Is it Archie Baines, which I assume we will get into? Is
Mhm.
it someone else that we're going to add at the deadline? And that's the solving the power play. Like we got time, we got a couple months,
Yeah.
so I'm not too concerned with it because it
Mhm.
could just be a weak streak. But the thing is, it looks really bad. They can't gain possession at all. They as soon as if they lose the opening draw, they're not getting in the zone. I have no idea why. It's literally the same play, the most like telegraphed drop pass into passing to Miller on the right side, and we're trying to dump it in, and we're losing it. And even
Yeah.
when it goes to Miller, he dumps it in low. Like every team knows that,
Mhm.
and they've been playing us like that. So that would be my number one woe is okay. This has really shown where we have our weaknesses and what needs to be actually fixed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's gonna be done through trade or maybe call ups or maybe just it just takes time because like they've
Mhm.
had everyone running that power play now. Suter, Lindholm, Bronick at one point. I wouldn't be surprised if it just threw like Joshua up there at some point if this continues.
Mhm. Yeah, no, the thing is like with the losing streak and everything, like again, I'm not worried at all. I do think it kind of goes to show that like Joshua and Susie are no excuse for Vancouver to like be losing
No,
like they were. Like they're depth players at best, and Joshua has the potential to be a top six a top six power forward potentially, right? Like Ian McIntyre was even saying that, which I kind of agree with, but. Yeah, I just think there's a couple of like the power play definitely has to be fixed. They got to solidify their lineup and like what they're going to be doing in the trade deadline. But yeah, overall, I don't think this was a really concerning like streak of play. Like I actually thought the Wild game up until it went completely berserk, banana lands as Biz would say, like that game. That's a write off, like you said, and they played okay 5-on-5. I thought the Avalanche game they played really good 5-on-5. Just the only thing with the Avalanche and a team like the Kraken, though I just kind of wrote this down, is like both these teams play like a really fast style. And not that Vancouver's not fast, but we're definitely a lot slower than Kraken and Avalanche. And you can just see it, especially when they're going. And Vancouver had a long, like this road trip was 5 games and 8 nights, I believe, or 7 nights. Like it was something stupid like that. So, like, what are you supposed to do?
I
But
think we just blame that Kraken game was the one that actually worried me.
yeah,
They
that
look
was the
very
worst.
they
They
look
did.
bad. Demko had a very off game as well. Like he was getting beat. He was kind of getting screened and stuff like that. But like
He got clipped on by one of the Canuck players. I believe it was Tyler Myers. He was like going
one
behind the
way like
net.
launched forward or something.
Well, he got launched forward, but there was one where like Tyler Myers like clipped his pad, and then he couldn't get set up for the shot, and then they just clapped it in. It was a
Yeah,
well
there was
placed
one
shot.
that was just straight up mono y mono. I think to Jared McCann goal, and he missed it. Which like
That
one
was
goal is gonna go past him, but
come
it was
on,
just
man.
uncharacteristic from
That
him.
was a fucking snipe by
It was a
McCann.
snipe
That
from
hit the dude. That hit like the where the post meets the crossbar. Like that was an absolute
hey, save it.
howitzer of a wrist shot.
Alright? That's my
Okay.
Vezina candidate, he's saving it.
Yeah.
No, it was uncharacteristic from him. It was bad defense.
Hmm.
That front of the net, no one's taking their man. It's wide open. We're not winning battles. Like that one was a concerning game. That's the
Yeah.
one I think after talk had said there's a lot of people that aren't playing well. I can't remember the exact quote he said, but he was saying something of that sort.
Oh yeah, trust me. I heard a little bit of Talkett's post game, and Don Taylor actually said on Donnie and Dolly that was his favorite part of that game because Talkett comes out, he's like, I don't know what to say, and then he just said everything. So,
He knew
he
what to say.
he knew, yeah, he knew what to say. He said it's on him that the guys weren't prepared. He's like, I got to make them more prepared, and man, imagine being at that practice Friday morning. I would have been fucking scared to see Talkett that day, man. He's like, it's my bad. I got to be prepared. They did not show up in that Kraken game. That's probably the most disappointing or concerning loss they've had since the Flyers games, I would say. And they
Yeah.
haven't had a lot of those. Like, yeah, they've lost against top teams where I just personally wish they would win or whatever. Like they lost to Toronto early in the year. They've lost both games to the Colorado Avalanche. Lost the one against Boston. Um, but those are top teams. Like that happens, right? This game against the Kraken, yeah, it's at the tail end of a road trip. Probably one of the harder ones to win, actually, in that case. But yeah, they have to do better in games like that against teams like that for sure. That being said, yeah, I did want to like put this conversation over to Arshdeep Bains, like you said, debuting in the Colorado game, and he's been here since. Talkett says he's earned a spot and he's ready to stay. Um,
No.
he's a fourth Punjabi player to play in the National Hockey League, so it's pretty rare. But like this has to like inspire so many kids that like want to grow up and like play. Like, dude, this guy was undrafted in the WHL, undrafted to go into the NHL, just paved his own path, and it's super inspiring to me to see the way this guy has like made it to the lineup.
Oh yeah. Our whole community is going off right now. Don't worry. RSD Bain jerseys absolutely selling right now. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
His actual play though, yeah. It's not like he was just on the fourth line to fill a role. Like he's got into the top six, loved by Talkett. And apparently
Hmm.
some of the guys as well were saying
Yep.
to put him in certain spots as well so he can play. They love the way he plays.
Mhm.
And what a story! Like, dude, if he would not even crack my top 5 that I thought would have got called up this year.
No, not at all.
Like, there's so many others, but, like, he's found his path, and one thing I do wanna talk about when it comes to Archie Baines coming up and being able to perform like this,
Mhm.
it goes back to something Alvin and Rutherford were talking about last summer or even maybe earlier, was why they wanted Talkit, and, like, Jeremy Colleton is their guy
Yep.
in the A, that one our coach. They play the same system. It's top down the whole way. These it's not like these guys have to get called up and then learn the Canuck system. They're already playing the entire Canuck system down in the A, and that
Mhm.
kind of smooth transition is showing right now how it pays off.
Yep.
It's not these guys have to, spend a couple practice. Like the fact you can get called up on a road trip as well
Yeah.
and do that, like that's the part that's impressive to me and shows how this management group has actually created a full team, top down, and top down all the way to the AHL that
Yeah.
can have players come in. And that makes me more excited for other players if they need to be called up.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, we're going to need a 13, 14, 15th forward to step up during the playoffs. So
Yeah.
that really shines right there. That's another point towards Alvin and Rutherford.
100%. I think the kid held his own, and it's not that like our bottom six is hold on here, my voice is gone.
Guys are
Um
losing it.
yeah, holy hosting way too much. Um yeah, he just didn't look out of place. Like you have guys like in Vancouver's bottom six with like Niels Amon and Phil Di Giuseppe, who was good at the start of the year. I know you still love him.
PDG
um
baby.
yeah, and like Ilya Mikheyev, who is just struggling to
Nah.
yeah,
Vin doesn't even describe that guy.
yeah. He hasn't scored for I think it's 29 games now. And actually,
53
you know
shots
what?
in a row.
I gotta finish this thought here first. But Archie Baines is playing better than these guys that I just described. Yeah, there's no way he's gonna be taken out of the lineup. He actually got promoted, I believe, after the Avalanche game to play with Miller and Besser in the Kraken game. And again, he looked great there. Um, I don't think it's a long-term solution, but yeah, he's just a nose to the grindstone kind of guy, and he's making it happen. And like you said with the transitioning going from Abbotsford to Vancouver and how it's just the same systems, so it's easy for him to transition into it. His defensive game is perfect. Like that's why Talkett loves him so much. Like he
Oh,
bailed
yeah.
out a couple of Ian Cole blunders, I believe, in the Kraken game. I think it was, and yeah, no, he just doesn't look out of place. And like yeah, he's had a couple of minuses, I believe, but yeah, no, he's looked
Does
really good. I
he
thought
does he play on the wing or center down in
he's a winger.
he's a winger? Because I was gonna say, like,
Yeah,
his defense is pretty damn nuts for a winger as well.
yeah,
Because like,
yeah,
he's gone back and, like, he's, like, gone on to the center of the ice to, like, stop a play and stuff like that. That's what I've noticed a couple times.
yeah.
And, like, he can do no wrong in my book ever. So, I only noticed that. Doing great. So, yeah, as a call up, like, what a surprise.
Hmm.
Makes me excited for if we do call up other players to see, I don't know, pods, does he make it up?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like I actually it made me curious to like if this is what's down in Abbotsford in Archdeep Baines, I was like, oh, like well, I've seen videos of Pog Colson just absolutely dogging it down in Abbotsford, like being just an absolute menace to play against. Like every Pog Colson shift I've seen, like I know he has a couple of points and he scored a few times this year in Abbey, and like he's having a good season overall. But he just seems like one of those guys that is just hard to play against, similar to Hoglander and like Baines, right? Like I wonder if calling up Pod Colson over guys like Phil Di Giuseppe and like Niels Amon might help come playoff time because those guys might just be the perfect fourth line we need.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to try. We got 2 months to play around with everything, to solve
Hmm.
everything. We got trades to do, but okay. That we talked about the losing streak, now we can finally get to the good stuff. All right. Bring up
Yeah.
bring up
You
what
want?
happened, right?
Okay, Google, replay the Boston game.
There we go.
Yeah, no. So the Vancouver Canucks hosted the Boston Bruins at a 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time start. Uh, One thing I wanted to say about the Bruins, though, and full props to them, they box out the opposing team so well in their zone. Like Vancouver was really pushing the play, I thought. The problem was though is Swayman was able to see every shot because they would always just net battle and like Canucks just could not get to the front of the net to save their lives. Um, Vancouver ended up, you know, facing the adversity and killing it at the end. But I don't know about like, did you think that was a struggle for Vancouver in this game? Like, it kind of seemed like a chess match for till about halfway through the second.
Yeah. Well, it was scoreless, and then they obviously get one on the break, which I didn't see what broke down there, but I don't even know what player from Boston that was. They always
Boquist.
got somebody. Boquist. Is that Adam Boquist's brother or something?
I couldn't tell you to be honest off by heart.
I'd be surprised if you could. Anyways, I don't know what happened to that breakdown, and then he gets the shot off, so that's fine. But it's a backbreaker because we're on a losing streak and everything.
Yeah.
And we Swayman was also playing out of his mind too.
Hmm.
There was so many times where they're like Swayman with the save, like he was going nuts.
Swayman's glove hand was hot in this game.
Yeah, that Miller bomb that he stopped.
Oh my god, yeah.
Hot
No,
dog did to
I didn't
disrespect him.
think I didn't think the Boquist was a backbreaker. The Danton Heinem one that just
No,
like
I didn't think it was a
somehow
backbreaker.
pinballed its way in. I was like, oh my god, here we go again. Like this might be a little snowball effect here. And honestly, again, from that goal on, yeah, I'd say even like most of the second period, the Canucks were just pushing play. It just seemed like they couldn't get any proper chances on Swayman um, up until the third period. By the way, before we talk about the third here quickly, the Green Men make their appearance again back from
Out of
2011. We're
no
talking about comparisons. God damn.
They came out through the crowd with a full entrance as well, like,
Yeah, yeah.
that is an
Uh,
absolute throwback. They had the waffles,
yeah, it
and
was
I'm saying
amazing.
it's something in the water out of the fact they returned. Like, that's
Yeah.
actually nuts.
No, it was huge. I saw dude, man, this tweet was so funny. It was like the Green Men if they ordered their suits from Fanatics and the suits were blue. I don't know
No,
why
okay.
that chick sent me.
We
But
gotta we get a year to shit talk Fanatics.
yeah. But yeah, no, so Vancouver ends up pushing back and apparently this is a set play by Miller on the faceoff draw that made Besser
Yeah.
score. Yeah, that play happened. Besser gets his what was that? His 32nd of the year?
Isn't it 33rd?
Well, yeah, his 33rd was the OT winner, but that yeah, so he
Oh,
gets his
no,
32nd to get the 2-1, and they were down with 7 minutes to go, man. This is down to the wire. And then I didn't talk about this in the Colorado Avalanche game, but Philip Roenick redeems himself. I don't know if you saw
yeah.
the play in Colorado, but he had an empty net basically. He waited 5 seconds, calibrated, took a clapper, did not work. Should have taken the wrister. This one he drills it and he ties it up. And dude, Rogers Arena, when it is bumping. And
Yeah.
like you could feel like all they needed was that one goal. That goal by Besser gets him going. That arena erupts and we're good to go. And then there's just this tense buildup. Canucks are still pushing. Roenick ties it. Roof goes off the building. Everything's all good. And if you would like to describe the OT, you can go because they score in the power play.
Yeah, that's the part that was making it exciting. Honestly, I'm gonna let you because I know you got the hype for this one, and it's the boy too. So I won't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
take this from you. Explain how it went.
All right, all right. Well, okay, yeah. So, anyways, Vancouver is like, they got the puck in their own zone. And dude, Tyson like pointed this out to me. And if Pedersen actually meant to do this, it's hilarious. I think he was just trying to pass it to Besser though. Pedersen goes up ice and is too many men for Bruins, so they call it. It's a too many men penalty. But they have this replay right behind Pedersen where it's like it looks like he's waiting for the Bruins player to come on, and then he fires the puck at the Bruins bench. So
I
obviously he
wouldn't put
didn't
it
mean
past.
to. But yeah, it could be, he's an alien, so you never know. But anyways, Vancouver goes to work. They run the old power play. Miller on the half wall takes a shot. Besser tips it in. Canucks score. Brock Besser, 33rd of the year, and Vancouver beats Boston 3-2 in overtime.
To end the losing streak, right?
All
To
is
end the
forgiven.
adversity. Yeah,
All is
honestly.
forgiven.
That
Yeah.
was the game too. Like that was
Yeah.
like that would have been a heartbreaker. It would have been 5 in a row, and like if we especially if we got shut out again by
Mhm.
Boston, it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
would have raised some questions, because they're first on the other side. We're first here, so it's getting a little rough.
Yep. 100%.
But didn't happen. All right.
Nope.
Teams washed. They're done
Teams
for.
watch.
All right. It was the Canucks going off, winning it, just absolutely everyone sigh of relief. Like we were finally back in the W column. And what a way to
Yeah.
get back in the W column. It wasn't
Oh,
just,
for sure.
facing Chicago.
No, no.
It
Yeah, it
wasn't a
wasn't just
gimme
a
or anything.
layup. It wasn't a gimme or anything. It was another top team in the league. And yeah, like Vancouver again, like this game was a really good statement at where this team is at and how they battle back as a club. Because being down 2-0 with like just over 7 minutes to go and they tie it up the way they did, like the crowd's behind this team right now. And yeah, I just you can't be worried about Vancouver. And one big sign for me, even during the losing streak, is the Kraken game. We didn't even talk about this, but Garland tries to spark the team because his big brother Dakota
Oh
Joshua
yeah,
isn't there, and he goes to fight Brandon Tanev. And it look like Tanev's not even that big, man. I think he's the same height as me or some shit. And and Garland, it's like a David and Goliath fight, man. And
yeah. No, he got
Garland just
fed.
gets, yeah, he gets fed like 50 uppercuts, and then Garland just tags him with one, and Tanev's bleeding. So I think Garland won the fight just off of that. Um, but you see
Apart.
Garland, he goes to the box, right? And I don't know if you saw this, but JT Miller skates up to him, gives him a big tap on the back, like, good fight, brother. Like, let's go, and like this team just has each other's back. And you could even see the overtime goal where everybody was celebrating, and they're all hugging each other. Like this team is a team.
It's a team. So who are we adding to this team? That's what is a segue right into that. This team's it's built, but there's got to be pieces added.
Yep.
Elliot Friedman was just talking about it, how Rutherford, and this was interesting to me just because we've mentioned this a few times, and when we had the Beerly hockey podcast, when we were chatting with those boys, they
Yep.
mentioned it like who's actually in charge here
Mm-hmm.
between Alvin and Rutherford. And when Elliot Friedman was talking, he was talking about Rutherford,
Mm-hmm.
and all the leaks I think come from other GMs. We don't get leaks on our end so far.
No,
So
no.
they were saying like, yeah, Rutherford is pretty active as he's always been, as he's always
Mm-hmm.
going to be around this time when he thinks the team can win it. And then he mentioned Canucks are gonna be looking to add, like, I will be looking to add whatever. Who knows? Like, is it Gensel? You think that guy's coming on down?
How do we make that work though? Like, I'm not a big cap guy, so I don't
It would
know like you
be
and Pravi do, but like, how would we get that to work? Myers going that way?
no, it would be Mikheyev. It would be a big trade.
See ya,
Yeah.
Mikheyev. Yeah, let's get Gensel.
No, no, it's
I'm
gonna
good.
cost a lot is the whole thing. Like we'd be
Oh yeah,
paying because we'd be
yeah.
paying we'd be paying. Like it'd be either a pretty top prospect going that way,
Oh
probably
yeah,
and a
dude.
first, and maybe
One
like
of
yeah.
one of Wielander or Lekaramaki has to go in that deal. And I know Vancouver said they weren't going to trade him, but if you're getting
No, no,
Gensel, that
they're not
is what
trading
you have to
Willander.
do. Not
I don't think
Willander,
Willander's
but
ever getting traded.
Lekaramaki. Yeah, like I don't see how Vancouver doesn't get away with like not trading one of those guys or even Pug Colson for that matter. Like obviously
That's
you
if we're
don't.
doing Gensel.
That's
I
what I'm
think we're
saying.
always
Yeah, yeah,
kicking tires over there,
yeah, yeah,
but I don't know what else there's obviously other players to take. I can mention one, but I'm not going to.
yeah. Don't
It's
do
Thomas
it. Yeah,
Novak.
yeah.
Guy
Um,
that can play in the top 6.
I just
Like,
think that
is it
Vancouver's gonna add like like just like filler uppers in the lineup, like maybe like Adam Henrique or like players of that ilk. I don't think we're gonna get another big guy. We got our big fish in Lindholm, it seems like. I don't think they're gonna go for another one. If they get Gensel, this is the best management group of all time, okay?
that well,
Uh,
they be paying out the ass for Gensel too.
yeah.
Like, they're obviously and there's a Pittsburgh connection too,
Yeah, yeah.
where we're going to the Vancouver Penguins at this point, but I could see the Canucks still going for that, but I could see them having their fingers in a lot of pots here. They'd be looking at
Imagine
a lot of different players.
I know Gensel's the one that they keep like trying to shop around or something, but imagine like if Genny Malkin coming over or something, man. Like
What in the
that would
world?
be
Might as well get Crosby at that point, dog.
no, I know, but I was just watching like Malcolm play against the Philly game today, and I was like, man, like he's still a good skater, man. Guy's a
Yeah,
star.
bring him over. We'll take him.
Yeah, yeah. We'll take. Yeah, can I get a Crosby with a side of Gensel, please? Uh,
Yeah, we're not getting that.
no.
Let's Gensel's the one.
Yeah,
We'll
for
see if
sure.
he comes our way. I'm pretty excited. It's like what 2 weeks left till the deadline.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's right.
I saw a quote from Rutherford talking about how he like when he wants his guy, he'll just get his guy. He literally said, "I'm willing to overpay."
That's a
It kills
Benning
me.
quote, dude. That is
Yeah,
a
I was
Benning
like, if
quote.
anyone else other than him said that, I would have been through the roof. I would have been pissed. But it killed me when he said that. He's like, "Ah, if I want my guy, I'll overpay. I'll take him right now." I was like, "Go off, King. Do
No
what you need."
questions asked. Oh,
Pretty fair.
that's
Like we did get
amazing.
the top. We got Lindholm. I don't know if we'll look into add a defenseman
Yes,
or
we
we'll
are.
be looking to add a winger. Well, maybe both, honestly. Who knows? Pretty
Yeah.
exciting next 2 weeks.
Oh, for sure. I don't think I just have no like, just bring Tanev home. That's all I want, honestly. I don't know why. That's it. That's all if we get that, I'm happy.
Yeah, that would be a happy time, but I don't know. There's a lot of defensemen, like random defensemen. I feel like we'll get like
Yeah.
6th, 7th, 8th defenseman. I think we might.
Yeah, that might be the better play.
Well, no, I think the better it would be getting a top four. Just solidify it. You have a top four guy in your top six is better than having a seventh defenseman in your top four by accident.
Yeah. Major
Might as well.
Julesen though he's playing unbelievable. Like
Oh,
he's
Major
basically
Jolson.
look at his face and tell me that he isn't like some dude that just came from the army, dude. It's incredible. He's like
You look at this
25 or
player,
something, but he looks like he's 42 and I love it.
guys through it. Yeah,
Nothing
he's
but respect.
yeah, no, him carving out his place in this team. Like that's what I mean. Like a lot of players are doing that.
Mhm.
I just want Canucks pick up somebody soon,
Yeah.
integrate them. Hopefully, after somehow this player that we pick up fixes our power play.
Yeah.
That's the only real concern right now.
Mhm.
And I just yeah, I'll talk about it again. That getting the puck into the zone on the power play is just abysmal.
Yeah, we can the one thing like they tried this in the Seattle game. I just want to keep talking about this power play here quickly because this is just wild. But putting Pedersen net front and
Yeah,
having Philip Roenick on the power play, like yeah, Philip Roenick on the power play too, sure. Like you only need to have one guy quarterbacking the back end on a power play, and that's Quinn Hughes all day, every day on power play one. That is a locked position. You do not take him out of that. Don't let another person try to quarterback there. Roenick is for power play two. Pedersen should be on his 1T side. He just has to not be as selective at taking shots. You know, like
no,
it can't always
you
be
don't
a
take it
perfect pass. Just fucking rip it. Let it go. Miller on the half wall on the left side. And if you really need to switch it up and you're struggling, I think the only thing that you switch up is Pedersen and Miller on different sides, getting their off wing shot.
Yeah, I think we were just cold for a while, so we just wanted to try out a few things. Lindholm obviously was net front, and he scored his first
Mm-hmm.
two goals on tip-ins
Yep.
like that. So maybe they were hoping that would stick. Didn't work. Went like 0-19. So then we really had to try
Mm-hmm.
everything. So I think it's just been try everything. Like they've thrown Suter up there, who was there before Lindholm. Lindholm, obviously Roenick, which Roenick's not. Roenick's just there for the bomb. That's why I think they moved Pedersen at front
Yeah.
and Miller to the other side, just so Roenick has that bomb on that side.
Yep.
But like, I'd rather just keep Miller and Pedersen on those sides.
Yeah.
Like
No, and
everything
that
broke. Lindholm center, like or net front, and then Besser on the
the
little
two
behind
the,
the net.
the two guys that should be like the bumper or net front are Besser and Lindholm to me because
Yeah,
Besser has that sneaky shot. Lindholm actually like even the game against Boston is when I like really noticed it. He's really good at getting these like quick little like sneaky shots off when like his stick's pretty contested against the other guys. Like he's able to get some like pretty good shots off and like yeah, I really like Lindholm's play. Like this is actually today that they practiced. This was their first full practice in like a month. So it'll be really interesting to see how Lindholm improves coming out of this now and how the whole team like improves now because now they got a couple of lengthy home stands. Like they're gonna have a lot of time to like play with the home ice advantage because that's most likely what they're gonna have going into the playoffs here. Like, you know, I complain about the schedule all the time. You know me, I can't handle the schedule, and
Everybody
you
hates the schedule.
you always tell me that you know the schedule makers have like one of the toughest jobs, and
Always go
I'm
to bats for
sure
those
they
boys, all
do.
right?
Yeah, yeah. This guy's not. I don't know, man.
I'm not even a
I can't
Canucks
handle
fan.
it.
I'm a schedule maker fan, all right?
Yeah,
Every time it's released, I'm like, wow, what masterpiece have they created for
you're
us?
like 5 back-to-backs before December? What a play. Like,
Hey, what
uh,
do we got now? Okay, March, not even going into the
yeah, they're done
Eastern
with East
side
Coast
conference.
swings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all home time. Resting up, ready to go.
Closing time. Yeah,
Oh
no,
god,
it's good.
I don't know what the hell that was.
I don't know, man. It's only
It was
34 minutes in here and I'm gone.
we haven't even mentioned
Wild now.
Pedersen and his contract. That's an absolute noise in the Canucks. Apparently, on that Friedman topic of him talking about Rutherford, he was
Mhm.
talking about how other teams are calling me like, "What's going on with Pedersen?" Like, shut the
Such a
fuck up.
such a nothing burger story, man. Like, why wouldn't you call him? Why wouldn't you at least like see what's going on there because he hasn't signed, right? If you're any GM with a pulse, you're gonna do that.
It's probably like Kachuk. And the whole Kachuk situation made like more GMs be like, "Wait, hold up,
Yeah,
can we sneak something here?"
yeah.
So I don't know,
I
maybe that's it, but we're like we're not like we're trading him now ever,
no, it's
even in
just
the summer.
ridiculous. Don't yeah, no one should be reading into
No.
that quote.
Yeah,
Don't
I already
panic.
seen I've seen all the comments. He's only gonna get 9,000,000 apparently, so it's great to hear. That's all he's worth.
It's
That's
so
all.
it's so funny, man, going game to game with Canucks fans. 4-game losing streak, this guy should not be getting 12. Get him off my team, I don't want him here anymore, too. He has a three-point night. He's like, "Oh, Pettersson is playing really good tonight. He's probably gonna get 12 and a half." Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's
Uh,
over point per game, like, against top teams, but people say he can't handle top teams. There's a whole lot of this team is going
Scotty, he's gonna be the first
crazy.
Swedish-born player to go back to back with 100-point seasons. He's gonna get that this year. He's gonna get another 100 points. When people say he has like a bad game and like, like oh like no top performers never have off games. Yeah, they do. I have Kale McCarr. I'm a fantasy owner. That guy has done diddly squat for me in the past week outside of one assist. Okay, star
From a
players have
30s
bumps too.
cartoon, diddly
Huh?
squat. Come on, diddly squat for me.
Oh, you want me to swear? Oh, I'm just gonna go
I'd
diddly
much
squat
rather
now.
you honestly, I'd much rather you swear than say diddly squat ever again.
All right. Zilch, nada, okay?
There we
Um,
go.
yeah. No, I just like people go through funks and like if you think that he's gonna get less than William Nylander or deserves less than William Nylander, give your head a shake.
All the fucking little idioms, don't you?
No,
Yeah, and a Jake Paul.
I'm trying to get Brabby a really good video to clip out of here. Okay.
Okay, that's right. Don't even tell him where it is. Let him listen to 36 minutes, alright? That's for not showing up. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pedersen's a whole nothing burger thing. He's not even our biggest concern. We got the power. We got the we got the playoffs to worry about now. I don't care about do not care about the summer right now. Just
Playoffs.
do whatever you want. I just hope we win a game. Still
Yeah,
a goat
no.
quote.
No, we're looking good, man. Also I wanted to mention Jeff Patterson asked about Susie and Joshua if they were close, and Talk could confirm that. He didn't say when they're going to get back in. Susie's missed 5 weeks now. Joshua's been out for 2, but they're in like full contact here, so they should be good to go relatively soon, which is a huge boost for this club, especially Joshua.
Yeah, especially to get that third line going again.
Yeah, and
Like they've
actually, you
actually
know
been
what?
still doing good, but
Even with Susie, like when Susie was here for that second time or before he got injured again, like the Canucks played their best stretch of hockey. I'm not saying he's like the straight up catalyst for that, but like he's been really good and sound when he's been in the lineup. So that'll just be huge for the Canucks and just it's a good problem to have when you're like, oh, should we sit like Juleson or Ian Cole, like game manage these guys, right? Like it's really good. So Canucks have been
yeah,
pretty
that's good.
lucky on the injury front.
Well, knock on wood for that one. That's
Yep.
just crazy talk to even say. But all right,
That
anyway.
was sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Is anything else in Canucks land we need to discuss? Who are we playing next? The next game's against Pittsburgh.
Next game is Tuesday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm gonna take a look. We only play 3 games this week. NHL schedule makers are giving us a couple days off.
Wow,
But yeah,
good.
we play the Penguins and Kings at home, and then on Sunday we hit the road and we do a little California trip, Ducks, Kings, and we finish off in Vegas next week. So just 3 games, like I said, Penguins, Kings, and Ducks.
We don't have the Sharks there. We played them, I guess, 3 times.
Yeah, Sharks are not on the schedule anymore. We are done facing the Sharks.
What a weird California trip.
Yeah,
Ducks.
it'll just
Game
be a little short
Vegas.
one.
All right,
But
look
yeah,
forward to that Vegas game.
yeah, Vegas
Hopefully,
game. Well, that's on
Eichel.
Thursday. So yeah, Thursday 2 weeks from now.
Pretty sure they're missing Eichel and Stone right now.
Yeah, actually, can we talk about this?
Talk.
LTIR specialist. I think they're injured 100%. But man, oh man, if I see game one and your fantasy, I mean, I guess fantasy playoffs don't go till then, but like you get that notification, Mark Stone and Jack Eichel both good to go. They're gonna get Gensel, man. That's the team that gets Gensel.
Do they even have any picks left? I feel like every year they do this.
Yeah,
Absolute steal. I don't even know if they have prospects to sell. I know nothing about Vegas this whole
they're
thing.
they're trading the like 2032 first round pick. Uh,
Honestly, I wouldn't even put it past them.
yeah,
How
no,
far ahead? You
I
can
don't.
trade the next 4 years? It's the most random thing that
I
I don't know if you know that.
I actually don't know that, no, to be honest with you. But yeah, they're LTIRing. They're big hitters, and we're gonna see where that goes.
Yeah, who knows if we honestly LTI IR some stuff, do some cap magic.
Oh,
Probably should
yeah.
be here because he knows the person that
Yeah.
it's is it Emily
Robbie's
Castonguay?
actually flying to flying to Vancouver to meet up with Mikheyev. He's gonna have a couple beers with him.
"Hey, buddy, what's going on? You ever thought of hitting
Why
the
do you got
net?"
that baseball bat?
He shoots
Uh,
crazy, dude. That guy he's not snake bitten, man. He just can't hit like a shot. Like he shoots the wrong spot every time.
Let me say this about Mikheyev. I actually have not outside of the scoring and being completely chalked. I like I like I like his play right now. I actually don't mind
Outside
the
of
way he's
being
playing.
bona fide garbage. He's past 29 games.
No,
I like
I
the guy.
actually I don't mind him.
No,
He's been
there's a
playing
reason he
okay.
sticks in the lineup. There's a
Yeah.
reason he sticks in the lineup when Kuzmenko's not there is because he does everything else when he's not scoring.
Mhm.
This whole scoring thing, hilarious though. Like how are like I genuinely mean it, like because he'll get a breakaway like once every 3 games, and they'll
Mhm.
be like Mikheyev, and I'll be like, okay, so nothing. Don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
look.
yeah.
Don't even need
No,
that.
like Shorthouse has said his name multiple times this week, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna break it. He's gonna break it, and he doesn't do it. Which again, as long as he's playing okay, and like this is the thing with losing streaks in Vancouver. It's so funny. Like we start losing, and people are like Mikheyev sucks, and like yeah, he has been pretty bad as far as like the scoring
They're
front,
right
but
about
like they are. But like, are we paying this guy to get a bunch of goals? Like they had to have known when we
that.
signed him.
We are
Yeah,
paying him 4.75. You better be scoring some goals.
for sure. But like, how do you not know as a management group? Like, yeah, like Mikheyev like was really good in Toronto, but like that was inflated by like playing with Matthews and Marner, right? How do you
Well,
not
that was
know
going
he's
to be inflated by Pedersen and Kuzmenko.
Pedersen's been
That work
playing
out.
with dogs, so outside of like the last couple of weeks where he's played with Lindholm and Hoglander, come on.
Oh yeah, no, the hope was that Kuzmenko and him would have Mikheyev as well. But that was
Mhm.
going into this year. We signed Mikheyev a long time ago for that same hope that he would
Yeah,
just stay with Pedersen and have that continued streak he had with Matthews and stuff. But like Leafs fans said it too. Like he can't shoot, he can't finish. They
yeah,
were damn right about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so tough. He just needs to get a goal, get it all. Get him an empty net. He doesn't play when there's an empty net, does he?
no, no.
So
They should actually put him out there for a little confidence boost on that front. Holy,
hey, go get it, Chief.
yeah.
He's gonna miss the net just so, like just so
Mikheyev, empty net breakaway. Oh, he hit the crossbar.
he can't hit the crossbar.
Man, actually, the way we were playing road hockey yesterday, I hit the crossbar a few times. I might be of assistance. Actually, who scores first if they're on Pedersen's wing, Mikheyev or me?
Honestly, I saw you. You were pretty good there. Honestly,
Yeah. No,
you would have the. I think you'd give you slight advantage on it. All right.
yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, you got anything else to say here about the Vancouver Canucks or just the league in general here?
The league in general,
Yeah, officiating, anything.
officiating. No, nothing else to say about the league.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, this is a bit of a shorter pod for us, but yeah, we will be back next Sunday. You could follow our channels, Instagram and X or Twitter at What the Nuck Pod, and our YouTube channel and TikTok at What the Nuck. This has been the What the Nuck podcast with Gunny and Drydy. Have a great rest of your weekend, folks.